Good afternoon. After tragedies like this, we often look for reasons to explain unreasonable and unexplainable events, but oftentimes none come. Yesterday, 3 families received the call that law enforcement families fear each and every single day. They may not always talk about it or acknowledge it, but that fear is always there and very, very real. The fear that their father or their mother, husband or wife, beloved partner will not be returning home. I pray for the families who are dealing with unfathomable loss, and our hearts remain with the 2 families who received a call about their loved ones being seriously injured, and we pray for their recovery. This law enforcement community needs us right now. These families need us. The police departments, York County and the Commonwealth needs everyone to respond with grace, with love, with support, and yes, prayer. Police officers do not ask for awards, accolades, or attention, but the truth is, every single day, they're standing up for their communities, for many people who they have never met before, and putting their lives on the line. Many of us have been in a position where there's been an emergency in our lives, and we've needed help. And we've had to call 911, and the police come. And they oftentimes can fix a situation. They can make you feel better. They can take care of you. And after that's over, they leave. And as a family, you may come together and say, thank God we got through that. We're okay. But those police officers move on to the very next call. And then they move on to the very next call. Every day, every week, every month, for years, decades sometimes. And they don't have the luxury of taking a break and saying, you know what, we took care of that one, we took care of that family, we're fine. And this kind of detail in particular, when you're talking about a warrant, is some of the most absolute dangerous work our police officers do, because they never know exactly what they'll encounter. The officers involved with this incident went to a home to protect a woman and her children. They encountered a force of evil, hell-bent on taking lives. Think about that. Think about what these officers went through. And I ask, do police officers not deserve the full embrace and support of society? Being a police officer means kissing your spouse or partner and children goodbye every single morning or afternoon, depending on your shift, and heading off to a job where you have no idea what you're going to run into that day and what will be required of you. Our police officers today are so much more than law enforcement officials. They're social workers, mental health professionals, counselors, crisis interventionists, child care workers. And they have the bright light of public opinion and judgment shining on them every single day. But yet they perform their duties without hesitation, true to their oath to protect and serve. Yesterday, 3 brave officers gave their lives to fulfill their duties. In the midst of that gunfire, their mission expanded from protecting a family to saving one another, and those actions saved lives. Without committed, qualified police officers, any and every community in our nation is susceptible to lawlessness and disorder. Families and children are vulnerable. Our older residents are vulnerable. Who's going to hold the line between a free society and lawlessness? Well, we all can play a role. I've heard it said before that more and more we have come to expect less and less from each other. Looking around our world, it's hard to argue with that. Society has become programmed to devalue human life. Perhaps it's social media or the news environment that thrives on outrage, or the loss of in-person connections and relationships. But that doesn't mean that we have to accept it. We have to get past the attitude that we are not each other's keeper. Step away from the keyboard and talk to a stranger, talk to a neighbor. Find a place to lend a hand. If we can't get beyond that attitude of selfishness for the sake of our society, then do it for the sake of these men, these heroes and their families. As one of Pennsylvania's most famous and favorite sons, Fred Rogers once said, "Look for the helpers." I implore us all to not only seek out the helpers, but support and empower them, emulate them. Again, the answers we seek, the logic or reasoning to explain how such a horrible, unimaginable tragedy can happen, they are hard to come by. So let's not rely on answers and instead take action. Not all of us swear the oath to protect and serve. Not all of us put on a uniform, but we are all capable of being the unrelenting force that overcomes evil. And I think we are. Late last night, after spending the evening at the scene of this horrific crime with our fallen heroes, my friends that were partners when I served as a district attorney, we made a very sad journey with their bodies to York. The rain was falling as if God himself was mourning with us. As I looked outside my vehicle window, lining each rural road, outside each home, standing in the rain were our fellow York Countyans, with American flags, holding a vigil for these men and honoring their sacrifices. I want everyone to know how important that was to the police officers and the law enforcement community of York County. It was so important to each of us who knew these men and considered them friends. That is the humanity that we need in this moment and in our world. Thank you. May God bless and keep these men and their families, and may he protect the men and women in law enforcement every single day. Thank you.